So the fabulous Jessie Stahl asked me to share with you designer items I cannot stand. Leave your feelings at the door. Let's go. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, sad to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you're enjoying my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself, and of course, celebrating others. So, today we are talking about the designer luxury items I just don't like. I just can't stand them for whatever reason. I'm also going to throw in at the end a couple of items that I had to eat a bit of crow on, not because I've gone on to buy them, but because I previously was very much like, no, don't like them, and I've changed my mind, okay? Doesn't mean I'm gonna go and buy them, but I've definitely changed my mind. Anyway, before we get into it, bag of the day. Beautiful Aspinall of London, London tote in Tea Rose Pebble. I have 2 of these. I have the Chack Hill Blue, Tea Rose Pebble, fabulous bag, won't be my last. Check out the new woven leather versions as well. If you're interested in Bottega, like the Bottega totes, because you like that woven leather, definitely go and check out Aspinall because they've introduced a woven leather. It looks lovely. I'm really interested in one in particular, but I'll share a little bit more about that nearer the time. Anyway, let's get into it. As I said at the start, leave your feelings at the door. This is meant in good humour. If you own these items, good for you, okay? If you love them, good for you. We all have different tastes. We all have different, things that float our boat. These just do not float mine. They will not land in my collection for various reasons. But yeah, let's just talk about them. The first one, this might upset some people. The new Neverfull BB. What is the point? Louis Vuitton, just bring out a new bag. Bring out a new mini bag. Why did you have to take what is supposed to be a practical bag from a capacity perspective and shrink it to a point that it no longer suits that purpose? The Neverfull is well known for being one of the most capacious, is capacious the right word? Yeah, I think so. Capacity, capacious, yes, I think so. Capacious designer bags out there. It's an iconic tote. The GM size, the MM, you start getting towards PM, I'm a bit like, why are you doing it? But in those kind of larger sizes, it's a fantastic carry-all bag. Why do you need to make a smaller version of it? What is the point? It's then got this large guitar strap. It's not that interesting. It's expensive. It's not that interesting. It's not even that cute. It's just nothing, in all honesty. And the thing with this particular bag for me is I can see the cycle of what's going to happen. There is going to be this mad rush to get it. There's going to be people who desperately want it. It is going to flood the resale market. Mark my words. You've seen this happen with the mini Speedies when they've been released. They have launched, they have been sold. I just think this is going to go the same way. I just don't know why they didn't make a different mini bag. I don't think it's that cute. It no longer fulfills really what the intention of the Neverfull is. They're just capitalizing on a name. Yes, some people might buy it for the novelty factor of it, but there are better bags out there for novelty than this. Sorry, I know that it's a new release. I know it's fairly popular. I've seen videos on people unboxing it. If they're excited about it, love that for them. Certainly wouldn't love it for me. I will never not have a vendetta against this bag. I never won't. It's just one of, I think, the ugliest bags on the market. Is it well made? Yes. Are the materials great? Yes. But it is hideous, and it is the Mulberry Big Softie. I couldn't find this on the Mulberry England site, so I wonder if they have the Mulberry UK, Mulberry England, but Mulberry UK site. I wonder if they've discontinued it. I could still find it on Farfetch. It is still out there. I mean, it was a significantly reduced price at the outlets. You're looking at £400-500 for the item. It is beautifully made. It is super squishy, but it's hideous. It's ugly. It's not even that practical. It's cumbersome. There is no appeal to this bag. I do now like the flat bag versions. I wasn't sure on them at first. I didn't love the hardware. I now get it. I can see the appeal of those. This, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think it's terrible. And they brought it out in this metallic-y blue. It was like a navy blue, but it had a shine to it. Oh, vile. Vile. There was nothing that could save this. It's hideous. And I'm sorry if you bought it. More because you spent your money on it. I'm not sorry I hate it. I'm sorry that you spent your money on it, okay? I said what I said. I'm a big Mulberry fan, as we know. I own many a Mulberry. I've invested into this brand, okay? I'm all in. I love a Bayswater. I'm enjoying my Alexa. Got a great backpack. I will be buying more pieces from Mulberry. I've got some on the list. But this was something I could never get behind. Anyway, I've talked about it enough. Now, a pair of shoes from a brand who I think get it right a lot, but they got it wrong here. This is the Eliza 45 or Eliza 45 from Jimmy Choo. Jimmy Choo know how to make a beautiful shoe. This is not one of them. They have made I think it's a 45mm heel. It's a block heel in a Mary Jane, not Mary Jane. Is that a Mary Jane? Like a, it's got, no, does Mary Jane have the ankle? Anyway, whatever style of shoe this is, it is neither chic, it is not an attractive shoe, it is not I don't really understand the heel height, if I'm honest. I actually think if they'd made this a flat, it could have been okay. I mean, it looks a little bit primary schoolish. It's a tiny bit immature, I think. And they've just tried to elevate it with a heel. And I don't mean that just because they've added a little bit of height to it in terms of elevation. I mean, they've tried to make it something more than what it realistically is. I just think it's a really, really ugly shoe. And it's not a particularly inexpensive shoe. It's Jimmy Choo. It'll be beautifully made. The materials will be fabulous. Don't get me wrong. Do I think it'll be comfortable? Yes. Yes, I do. But is comfort worth having a shoe that looks like this on your foot? I don't believe it is. I think there are many more beautiful shoes that are comfortable. Would a stiletto have saved it? No, I don't think so. It's actually not the heel that bothers me the most. It's the front of the shoe. It's the toe with the strap. The way that they've done that is the bit that bothers me the most. The heel's not great, don't get me wrong, but that isn't the worst bit. And it's not just because of the height. Yes, I am someone who loves a high heel. I don't wear anything on the whole below 115mm. I have one pair of 100mm. But I appreciate not everyone wants to wear shoes that high. Not everyone can wear shoes that high. So it's not the height that gets to me with this. It's just the overall design of the shoe. I don't think it's chic. I don't think it's elegant. I don't think it's sophisticated. I don't think it's particularly versatile. They're not particularly formal, but they're also not particularly casual. I think they've maybe tried to bring in a bit of maybe they're brought in for the workplace. I don't really get the market for the shoe. It's just not a good shoe. Now, a range that I've never loved, but I can get behind and understand why it's popular, but there are certain pieces that I can't. This is the Roman stud collection from Valentino. I'm a lover of the small spikes, so I love the spike collection. I think that's beautiful, and I would love one of the like rock stud spike medium sort of bags that are the shoulder bags, but can be a top handle. They're beautiful. I like those very much. I'm not a huge fan of the Roman studs. What I dislike even more are the SLGs associated, and particularly this SLG here. It is so lazy in terms of the way that they've tried to integrate this. They've created an SLG and gone, oh, we need it to be part of the Roman stud collection. Right, let's just stick the stud bang in the center. Great, it's now part of the collection. It feels very lazy to me. I don't enjoy the aesthetic of it. I also don't think I would want to put something in my bag that had studs on it like that. I'm imagining scratching. It will scratch other pieces in your bag. I'm imagining my phone, yes, it's got a glass protector on it, but I'm imagining that catching on this. I don't want something roaming around in my bag that's got studs or spikes on it. To be honest, it's one of the reasons I don't own any of the Louboutin SLGs as much as I like them. Part of it's also the price point of them, but I would still go for them because I like the aesthetic. But this just is very lazy to me. And it's expensive. It's Valentino. Again, do I believe it'll be well made? Yes, of course I do. But I feel like they could have gone further. They could have really tried to make the small pieces feel a very integrated part of the collection, rather than just taking an SLG that, if you were to look at it without the Roman stud, could be from any designer's collection, luxury or not, and then throw the stud on it just to say fabulous Valentino Roman stud collection, £400 please. Not of my money. Not a fan. Now, I referenced Louboutin, and the next item is from Louboutin. I think they have a beautiful collection. I think their shoes are fabulous, their bags are fabulous, their SLGs are fabulous. I'm really pleased to see that Louboutin has really re-emerged. In the kind of late to 2010s, I feel like it lost its popularity, but they've managed to pivot the brand in a way that's brought it back. And I feel like it's now synonymous with style again. It's having its moment again in a really authentic way, and I love that. What I'm not a massive fan of, and I'll have to look at the name of them, is the Panamic June shoes. They're trying too hard. They make more sense in a boot. There's a boot version of these and they make more sense there. As a shoe, I can't quite figure out what this is trying to be. Is it attempting to be formal? Is it attempting to be casual? Is it attempting to be a heeled shoe? Is it attempting to be a flat shoe? It's over-exaggerated, which is possibly what they were going for, but I think the styling of this would be incredibly difficult. I'm someone who isn't afraid to style something that it feels a little bit different, that feels a bit out there. I was looking at this piece thinking, I want to like it and I want to think about how I could personally wear that. I can't think of a scenario that shoe particularly works. I'm sure with the way that they've put it on their model, you might be looking at sort of a black trouser with maybe an all black outfit, or very much monochromatic to really accentuate the shoe. But the shoe for me is over-designed. It's not horrendous, don't get me wrong. I just think they could have taken it in a direction that would have been far more suitable, if I'm honest. And I don't love the way that it almost looks like, not tire tread, that's the wrong word, but where you've got these quite significant gaps between parts of the shoe. On the sole of the shoe, it's balanced in a way that it's missing significant pieces. It's just over-designed the way, and then it's got the red, which I do like as the contrast. You know I'm not a huge fan of red, but it's Louboutin's thing, so on the shoes, it makes sense. I don't think it's particularly chic. I think they're quite tacky, if I'm honest, and I know if I were to see somebody wearing those, regardless of how amazing the outfit was around it, I would look at those and go, ooh, what on earth are those? Like I said, they make a bit more sense on the boot, because I think the proportions of having a boot help to balance out the way that they've created, particularly the sole of this shoe. It doesn't have enough balance when you look at it purely as a shoe. I mean, I know a boot is also a shoe, but you know what I mean in terms of a shoe. The word is escaping me. But whilst that's escaping me, let's move on. Now, this is a range that I can't even begin to say I understand. When I said I understood the Roman stud range, not that anyone needs me to understand it, but when I said that I did, you know, this is something I just have never been able to get behind and won't ever be able to get behind. And it is the Balenciaga Laker ghoul range. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty on what happened with Balenciaga months and months ago, okay? The way I think about this is there are still people employed by that business who are making a living and who are impacted by the sales of this organization. So from that perspective, I want the brand to do well, because there are people who rely on that brand to provide them their source of income. There are suppliers, all of that. A couple of mistakes from very specific individuals in that brand should not define the work of thousands of others who contribute to that brand. But I'm not going to get into it beyond that. This range is so over-designed. It is attempting to be edgy. It is attempting to have some softness with things like the heart mirror, some of the textures they're bringing it out in, but it's got so much bloody hardware on it. Why on earth does it need this much hardware? They look ridiculous. The proportions of the pieces are wrong. The straps on some of the bags, you've got these miniature bags with these straps that have multiple aspects to them. The proportions are so far off. The amount of hardware given the size of the bag. Then you put the price into this. Thousands. The SLGs are not particularly, captivating. The bags are hideous. The whole lot of it is terrible. Balenciaga over the years have had some really standout pieces. I'm not a Balenciaga lover in general. I never have been. It's not a brand I've ever really thought too much about, outside of maybe buying like a city bag in a really bright colour. That would be my only thing that I would have considered. But that is rare to find. But this range is hideous. And it's expensive, and it's unappealing, and it's over-designed, and it's juvenile, and it's silly, and it's unflattering, and I've never seen it styled in a way that I've looked at someone and gone, I really want that piece. Sometimes there are pieces that on the hanger or on the website you go, ooh, I don't get it. Then you see it styled on Instagram, you see it on a TV show, and you go, I get it now. I see how that can work. Would it work for me? Maybe not, but can I get it? Yes. I have never, ever seen one of these pieces styled in a way that I think that looks great. Ever. And last but by no means least, before we get to two pieces that I've changed my mind on as time's gone on, the diesel skirt. You all know the one. The one that looks like a wrestling, championship belt. This is another piece that I have never seen styled and thought, wow, that looks great. I don't understand the proportions of it. I don't understand the materials that it's created in. I don't know if it's intended to look almost like concrete, but it looks like concrete to me. I don't like the proportions of it. I don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever. Is this a piece that people actually buy? Were people gifted this? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's expensive. Why? I know Diesel's a brand I used to like a lot, and I know it's having a bit of a resurgence, and I love that. But is this worth that amount of money? Really? I've seen it a lot on influencers, and that's why I asked the question around, is it an item people are actually buying? Is it an item people are gifted? Because I've seen a lot of this sort of Diesel shoulder bags being bought as well. Again, not a lover of those, but, I don't dislike that to the extent that this skirt makes me just question style and fashion. And, I'm the first to say that I don't keep up with trend. I mean, if this is what trend is, then thank goodness I'm about 6 seasons behind, because this certainly isn't a trend that I want to be jumping on. Anything that's along these lines, I just don't want any part of that. I mean, it's not chic. I don't think it's that successfully edgy. It's not sophisticated. And not everyone wants to look chic and sophisticated. I understand that. But at least land what you're aiming to land. And here I think it's trying to land, cool and edgy and, yeah. I'm a bit lost for words with this one, if I'm honest. A bit lost for words. And I was thinking about this video, and the first few I did sort of a day or two ago when I was thinking it through, and they sprung to mind quite quickly. And I actually woke up early yesterday morning with the thought of this as my additional item. That says it all. Anyway, that's that list. Now let's go on to two that I was wrong about. And like I said, I don't own them. I don't actually plan to own them. But I was definitely wrong about my initial thoughts on them. And the first item is from Longchamp, and it's the Longchamp Le Filet bag. I didn't fully understand how this could be styled and how this could work with an outfit and how it could have a certain amount of practicality and usability to it. I've seen this styled so many times now, out and about, and it's so cute. I've also seen it styled with scarves, and it's incredibly cute. I love the colours that they've brought this out in. I don't know that the initial launch did it any favours. I think the colours they initially launched it in didn't help the cause. Now they've really started to bring in these beautiful colours. There's an element of softness to it. There's an element of whimsy to it and playfulness and just a very summery, very soft aesthetic, and I'm really enjoying that about these pieces. I think they're really cute, and I was wrong about this. The price point I don't think is unreasonable. You'd pay significantly more if this would be from another brand, and I'll see if I can find any examples from other brands. But I do think it's really cute. I also think the way that they've now got this in different sizes helps it as well. It's adorable. I'm gonna say that. It's adorable, and I was wrong. The second item, I was most definitely wrong about. I said this was going to be a trend piece. I said that it wasn't going to stand the test of time. It was just, for me, felt too close to the Bottega pouch. I was wrong. The Fendi First. They've done a fantastic job with the Fendi First. I think it's a beautiful bag. I love the different variations, the different sizes, the colours you can buy this in, the textures and patterns and prints and materials. The shoulder strap, it can be a good crossbody, long shoulder, great clutch. Evening, daytime, it's versatile. I fully understand this bag now. Not that anyone ever needed me to understand it to begin with. Of course you didn't. Who cares what I have to say about it? But I was most definitely wrong. I didn't see it. Would I own one myself? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if I was going to buy this type of bag, I would probably still buy the Bottega, but only because I'd be using it exclusively as a clutch, and for me that works probably better as a clutch. Maybe. Or I would have to get the Fendi First in the biggest size I could get my hands on, and then that would probably work really well for me. But it's a beautiful piece. I've seen it styled so many times. Fantastic. Have to eat a big crow on that one. It's a good piece, and I get it. So there we have it, everyone. That's my thought on this particular topic. Thank you so much, Jessie, for tagging me. I'm going to throw up some individuals on the screen who I know won't hold back in terms of sharing their thoughts on luxury items they hate. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye now.